Now I know what's real, what's fake. Rather sleep than stay awake.
Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. I know you'll enjoy the vibe. I tend to basically journalize my niche around self-help, and I don't feel like I can best do that without basically coming from within. So with that said, a lot of it will almost sometimes seem like it's really personalized to myself, and it will be because I don't really have the idea of enjoying speaking very outwardly about things that I don't really put much knowledge into. And right now I spent a great amount of years just trying to really help and understand the person I am within. So my best form of being able to help and to give back to my community, especially to my YouTube family I'm beginning to develop, is kind of sharing my experience and what interests are to me and what growth tactics I've used for myself, and essentially trying to influence many people to try to be a stronger version of themselves, as I'm currently trying to actively work on being a stronger person myself. So today I've come to speak upon affirmations and essentially a little bit of a backstory of me. So I'll start with the backstory. I'm someone who, hypothetically, I was raised in, I guess you could say, a very bountiful setting. I didn't grow up with a family that was completely whole, like my parents technically didn't stay together, but I think I've excelled exceptionally well for someone who, grew up having my mom and a stepdad and siblings who shared my mother's side, and it was a very, very healthy situation for me, being that when I understood, the idea of being a single mother, and even I once had a friend who was a single mother, and you see a lot of challenges that they go through. So if anything, you gain a profound appreciation for people, and I mean, particularly with the fact that I guess the best way to say this is, having a step parent who has willingness to provide for you as well, though not having or sharing any relations. It's a genuine opportunity to have someone who is okay with being with a single mother. There's a lot of stigma behind that, and I appreciate the life that I've been given. That's one of the things that I definitely like to do each day, is have gratitude. Now that we're going to sync it into affirmations as well, like I'm going to be speaking interchangeably between the two of them. But gratitude is it's specifically extremely important. I can guarantee you this, no matter how much I chose to be atheist in my life once, or how much I believe in God now, and the universe. Nothing best really came from anything I've ever done other than having gratification, praying or manifesting, if you will, whichever makes you feel more comfortable. I believe they both achieve excellency. Consistency in oneself, believing you can, believing you will. I can. I will. I must. I want to. I'm great. I can do anything. I can be anything. Things like this. I've come a long way being someone who considers it later was diagnosed with mental health wellness. Another positive affirmation, if you will, trying to flip the script on the stigma of mental health, as I genuinely believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that it brings you a lot of great gifts if you learn to embrace it, as opposed to seeing it as something that affects you and makes you ill. I honestly don't like mental illness. That word is not, it's not sufficient. We're not ill. We're not sick. We're wired differently. And all humans are different. And this goes beyond the whole, oh, we all have different characteristics and personalities and yes, uniqueness, because that is true. But in specifics of the way our brain works, and actually including all of that mentioned, we all have a specific DNA molecular structure. None of us are expected to be the same. So the one thing I don't really appreciate about these stigmatizations, or maybe I'll say I appreciate, because again, we're speaking on positive affirmations, and that's one of the ways that I have learned to really help myself progress, is trying to really flip the script on some of my mentalities and my thoughts. But if we're going to speak of this on a more positive light and talk about what I appreciate about, I guess the stigmatizations, is it leaves a lot of people very ignorant. And hopefully those who are diagnosed will actively go out there and try to self-educate themselves, because we don't need to worry about anyone else's ignorance. The amount of power that's within us, the fact that the universe had chosen us to have such a set uniqueness to us. We're such a gift, a product of true perfection. I truly believe the more you consider yourself, quote, flawed, the more you truly have a gift. Number one, your gift is 100% going to be insightfulness and inspiration. Strength, especially if you manage your mental wellness well, and you believe in yourself to the fullest. I definitely don't believe in milking a mental wellness, and sometimes I don't really even appreciate that idea, but unfortunately there was times in my past where I would submit very easily to just saying, you know what, I'm mentally ill. And that's just that. So I cannot do that, and that's what we need to, as together, as people with mental wellness, band together. Remember that it doesn't mean we cannot. Maybe it's going to take us a little more practice, but that means we really were granted a gift of making sure it turns into perfection, because practice makes perfect. So when I say we are true gifts of perfection, I'm saying it literally. Because if we truly want it, we will devote to it. We will make it. And we will do it perfectly. And execute it perfectly. And that is just that. I appreciate everyone who listens. I appreciate everyone who stayed in till the end. I'm going to have many other affirmations, but this one is specific to those in my mental wellness family. I appreciate you all. Subscribe and make sure you have an excellent day. Oh yeah, and I guess I'll quote unquote say this time, smash that like button. Have a great day.